We'll fix it during the sketch.
We'll fix it during the sketch, yeah. We'll fix it in post, and whatnot. But, welcome back to another episode of Enjoy the Buzz. We are here this week. Everything is settled. Everything is good. We have no technical difficulties right now.
We're here on time. The camera is on, high heat mode. So
exactly. So, we'll have more than just one camera angle at a certain point.
We will. There's a lot of investments we gotta make still.
Yeah. But, we're here. We're here to give you content. And it's been a pretty good week. It's been actually a very exciting couple of days in terms of news-wise.
Oh, yeah?
So, we got a lot to hash out.
We do.
But, with the whole Enjoy the Buzz family, we try and make sure that we are trying to, it's a very close-knit family. So, to have an extra member show up, it's kind of, it's very rare that it'll ever happen, and very rare that when it does happen.
It's only happened before with this bag. This bag is really our only other character besides, your favorite three.
Mm-hmm. But the family is expanding.
And if you haven't noticed it yet in our new wall,
maybe you'll notice it with the update.
But wait, before we get there though, I just, we just got to set the record straight though, it's not your typical sketch, it's not your regular sketch, he kind of messed up, he forgot to write a sketch.
I did mess up.
So enjoy his apology.
Alright, okay, first off, I'm sorry that this is totally my bad. I understand. I was supposed to write a sketch. Didn't write a sketch. Don't remember a lot of this weekend. I know I didn't write a sketch though. So we need to figure out something to do because I got nothing and I don't know what to do. Okay, I get it. I fucked up. My bad again. But you know what? This is why we have safety measures for this. I remember we talked about this. We figured it out. We got the thing. We got the spinning thing and everything. And I remember we talked about some ideas on this one. Fucking Ram Bear. Oh, okay. All right. I remember this one. I know what to do. It's time, Ram Bear. It's time for you to be who you meant to be. All right. Okay. Wait. Where's our pocket? Okay. Oh, time to go to work. Alright. Every soldier needs a sword. All right. Oh no! Shit. Okay. I think I'm getting there. My boy, he is ready. Okay. Rambo.
Hello! So, we would like to introduce our brand new member of the family, Rambear. For some reason, we were inspired. And what if Rambo was a teddy bear? And just filled with
And
random
like
items?
Rakuda Kuno specifically, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a famous Japanese little bear, so we caught a cool limited edition version here, one of one.
And we'd have a fridge to put it on, so we just have to pin it to the wall because it's a piece of art. It's a piece of the family now.
And we want you guys to look at it.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
single day we go live with you guys.
It's Rambear. So you know what? Let's go ahead and cheers to Rambear, the
Let's
newest
do it.
addition of our family. Let me make sure I get a good pour on this one, because I feel like I've been fucking it up the last couple weeks, and the fact that I'm going to bartending school and I can't pour a beer properly is kind of concerning.
Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you. Fun fact.
Properly.
Me and my brother are going on a cruise with our family for Thanksgiving, and the cool thing, I know this is not like podcast conversation, but they have, and it's free with our ticket, they have a bartending competition where you can go in and make your own like mixed drinks and like see who makes the best mixed drinks.
So, I have an unfair advantage. I'm actually super hyped for that now. I didn't know that was a thing. And me being a very competitive person, I'm down for this.
I'm still waiting for the phone to go down. I'm
Well,
not
but cheers.
quite
Cheers for
quite the
Rambear.
bartender like you are.
You are not wrong though. Victoria's do taste different when they're from a can.
It's my favorite beer. I love Victoria. I'm not trying to like brand whatever but from the can, I get a few beers from cans like Pacifico, Modelo's, but they taste the same even in like from a glass bottle for the most part.
Yeah, this is just enough where it's like it's not like off-putting, but it's different and the brain isn't registering it properly.
Yeah, I think it's because like this has more of like a darker flavor, so the aluminum makes it a little like lighter for some reason. Yeah, but. Welcome to the show. As you're pouring your beer, hope you're treating with us too. But we don't condone drinking. That's not what we do here. But if you're a grown adult, who are we to tell you what
drink
to do?
responsibly.
Yeah, exactly.
But like we said, there's a bunch of fucking different topics that happen today.
Right.
The big one that everyone is really fucking talking about, obviously, it is the result of the Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight that happened last weekend.
Yeah, that shit is wild.
It was. I didn't see the full match. I saw the highlights and everything.
I saw highlights myself, but like, it was clear as day that there was some fuck shit going on.
Yeah, there was massive fuck shit. The fact that it's more kind of coined to be the hug fest instead of actually an exhibition match whatsoever. But the big thing everyone's talking about is the fact that did Mayweather actually hold up Logan Paul after he looked like he knocked him out and hold him up just to make sure, hey, we got to make it all 8 rounds, got to cash that money. I'm in the camp that, yes, he fucking held him up 100%.
I 100% believe that too, and I saw him, it was clear as day that he held him up for a while, and I just did some research on my own, I just deduced a couple things on my own that I thought were interesting. One, that wasn't my own thing that I did not witness what the internet said, and all those videos got taken down. Someone, like one of the cameras was able to pick up an audible, verse from Mayweather saying that's not part of the script, get back up. That punch wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even that hard of a punch. So that's what got picked up. I was never able to hear that. And, I've seen all the links, but they all say, like, media no longer exists. Media got taken down, yada. But, like, the funny thing is, like, the second the post-fight fucking conference happened, like, Mayweather, the first thing he wanted to talk about was how good at grappling Logan Paul was. That was like, he wasn't even asked. Like, he emptively was like, yo, man, yeah, he's a great grappler. You know, he's one of the greater grapplers that, you know, I had a wrestle. I think he has a great career in UFC, so and so. And he kept just hyping it up. And he's like, yeah, man, you know, he's just a youngin', you know, they just know how to grapple, you know, like, that's all it was.
Mayweather knows how to fucking sell a conference, man. If anything Mayweather knows how to do besides being one of the best boxers of all time.
He did it like a pro. He didn't choke. He didn't quiver. He said it with, like, the most insane amount of confidence.
He knows how to control the fucking cameras, the microphones, the fucking press and everything.
And then the funny part right afterwards was Logan Paul's conversation. So he didn't bring that up off the jump, you know. He tried to say, like, yeah, he was very, like, honorific with them, you know. Like, more so than I would expect him to be. And more so than casual fighters are in post-conference. Because I think he knew, he was like, I hope they don't really ask any insane questions. And then, like, some of the people, the reporters, they were like, so, like, Mayweather is saying, like, you're a pretty good grappler. How do you feel about that? And he's like, and you see his eyes just not knowing where to stare. And he's like, he said, you might have a pretty good shot at UFC. And he's like, yeah, you know, like, that's really where it came from, you know, like, you know, I think I might be good at UFC, but I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna still try boxing for a little while longer, though, you know, but it's something I was thinking about, you know, but yeah, I'm pretty good at grappling, and, like, just how, like, shook and stuff he was, and the way he was, like, avoiding at all costs to say even, like, the smallest wrong thing about Mayweather, like, oh yeah, like, at one point I was kicking his ass, at one point I was doing it, everyone says that at least once, you know, he was not doing it, he was just saying, like, bro, like, it's my second fight. I'm fighting Mayweather, bro. Let me get good first. Like, that's all the kind of shit he was saying.
Okay. So all right. So, you know, press conference-wise, they both did the dance that they were supposed to. Okay. I didn't know that Logan Paul said that. The fact that he was getting honorifics the entire time. You know, it is Mayweather at the same time.
Yeah, I know. One thing is being Mayweather, but he knew he was into a corner, and he had to play, so, you know, PR.
You know, the boy has been around the camera for so long, so it's not surprising that they would spin that type of shit. But, again, the fight was very disappointing, regardless of how you see how that result of him holding him up or not. It was a really disappointing fight to watch.
Yeah, Showtime's giving out refunds, too.
That is insane.
But it's not because the fight was shitty, it's because I guess there was a lot of, like, streaming errors.
Oh.
But a lot of people are also saying, I never had a single streaming glitch the whole time when I was watching interviews on Breakfast Club and shit like that. So I don't know how much that's what they're saying just to, like, keep people annoyed.
I think that's how it is. Right? Like, we're saying it's this, but if you want to get your refund for any reason whatsoever, we'll give it to you. Just don't come after us, please.
Yeah. So deadass, I think that's how that went. And if that's the case, I'm sure Logan Paul has more of a career because he's still young, but I don't know if we're going to see any more exhibitions from Mayweather after that.
I'm really okay with that. Because, again, I'm very much in, like, the group of, like, you know, boxing should be boxing, like, fighting sports should be fighting sports. Like, you want to see elite people fighting each other. And, yeah, you know, one guy's going to get paid more because he knows how to commercialize himself much better than the other
and
dude.
the champion, though, is going to get paid more regardless, you know?
But it's like, you know, I want to see real legit fights. If I'm paying this amount of money to see a pay-per-view, if it's on DAZN, okay.
Yeah, the cool thing about, like, DAZN is, like, it's a monthly subscription. You get all the fights. The thing with Showtime, and I guess all other pay-per-view fights, like, you're still paying for the subscription, but then they Disney Plus your ass, and you still got to pay, like, an insane fee just to watch something for a service you're already paying for, you know?
So, yeah, you know, if these exhibition show matches, stick them to DAZN, you know, let's keep them in that territory. Let's not do a premium.
It's actually DAZN.
I apologize. But, you know, as you mentioned Disney Plus and talking about entertainment that did hit properly and people enjoyed what they
And I really want to watch it, so don't spoil it too much, but I want to hear, like, some of the hype stuff, things you're excited that won't ruin the story for us and the viewers.
Loki episode 1 dropped, and, you know, obviously it's a Marvel property. We need to talk about it. That's something that just happens in the show, and you should be used to this by now. We've been doing this for, like, 20-some-odd weeks at this point. Wow. But... So the issue we had before with WandaVision and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we come into it like, okay, first episode, you know, not really sure how things going, not sure if I like it or not. Don't have that problem with Loki. Loki, immediately off the jump, I'm invested, I'm in it, I like where it's going.
Good.
One thing I would like to note, though, is that, like, with WandaVision and Winter and Falcon Soldier, is like, okay, they're really setting the stage for you to kind of, like, buy into what they're like trying to show you and what they're trying to convey and stuff like that.
So you're saying like this is like a weekly story kind of thing?
Well, no.
Okay.
It's very much like, all right, this is the thing. You're gonna be okay with it. Are you okay with it? I'm not sure if I'm okay with it. You're okay with it. I'm okay with it.
So they're kind of like you already know what to expect then. Is what
No, it's like
okay. I don't know what you're telling me.
It's
then.
like so they do this whole world building thing. It's like you don't know this world. You don't know the affiliation with it, but you will accept this world, and damn it, you're gonna like it. And you're just like, all right, I'm cool with it. I'm riding with this.
I fucks with that.
And
because from the commercials alone, it kind of reminded me of like the Umbrella Academy. Like, sure, there's real life, but then there's this like super secret organization that's in charge of controlling time. And that's exactly what's going on with Loki, right?
Yeah.
So like it's like the people who control time, they work in like a boring, dry-looking government office in Umbrella Academy, and I'm saying the same thing in Loki. Obviously, I'm not saying they're copying each other, but like I think like it's such a funny little like they're time traveling cops, but they're like also paper pushers. Like I find like that's so fucking hilarious.
And so that's the thing is like, all right, we're time traveling cops. We understand this is ridiculous. We're assuming you're gonna accept this, and we're moving past it. We're not even gonna acknowledge that, like, oh, where's all these fucking things that could possibly go wrong, or these are the different situations. Like, no, time cops, good, you got it, cool. Moving on. Loki's doing things now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really enjoying the show. I'm enjoying it a lot. I love the supporting cast, and one spoiler I will give you is that one of our Jacksonville boys shows up in the show.
One of our Jacksonville boys.
From The Good Place. It's
It's
not it's not Donkey Doug. It's not the main guy on the cast. It's the other friend.
Those are the two I knew the best.
Yeah.
The dad? The stepdad?
Donkey Doug was the dad.
Oh! So the one who locked him up in the safe.
He's in the fucking show. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, yo, we doing whippets on this show, man.
Yo, that's exciting, bro. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, alright? But the friend locked up like the main guy up in the chest so they can like rob like a store or a bank, but little did they know there's no oxygen in the safe. So the guy dies and go to like The Good Place, So.
It's from The Good Place. Highly recommend that show too. But yeah, just to see him on that cast, I was like, as soon as I saw him, like, all right, fuck it, I don't care where we're going. I just need him on screen every now and again, and we're chilling.
And they also have Owen Wilson, who's great at comedy relief. So
Owen Wilson
like a great show.
has honestly like his performance on the first episode. I'm actually like, again, I'm really invested about how he's doing stuff. The supporting cast of the fact that we got our boy from Jacksonville. Really excited to see how he turns out. Loki is exploring, like, I love the different aspects they're exploring from him. And people are talking about the fact that they're revealing that Loki is gender fluid in this show, which people are like, the championing and stuff like that, which is
I think that's really cool. I was kind of stoked for that. Honestly.
It's dope. It's really cool, and it's also something in the comics where it's like at certain points throughout the comics, like Loki takes on a female version.
Yeah, actually, Malcolm gave me a really good breakdown about what goes down with Loki and who he is and what he is. I don't know if you want to tell the audience.
Yeah, fuck it, Malcolm. Go for it.
Hello.
So Loki is essentially the trickster god, but he has different forms. He has shown himself as a woman. He is a man. He's an old man. He's a young boy. He's the one that we see now, and he's also, I think, an old lady or an old man. I cannot put my finger on who he is, but Loki is essentially these beings all together, and like that being put together, it's very confusing. But it makes sense at the same time because he's Loki. He's not really something that you can wrap your brains around. Like, his power doesn't essentially make sense, but he makes sense at the same time. Like, the way they portrayed, like, his sister, who is not his sister, it's actually his daughter, Hela.
That's true.
Guardian of Hell. Like, she is actually his daughter. And also his son, who started Ragnarok, is a half demon, half god baby, who is also locked in hell, which is also of his own choosing.
Yeah, Fenrir is
Fenrir
the wolf.
Wolf. Yeah, Loki is horny.
He fucks up,
Bro.
There's the giant serpent. There's Fenrir. There's Hela.
When he first told me about Fenrir, though, like, all the other ones are, like, humanoids. And I was like, wait, he's like a giant fire dog. Like,
Yeah, no.
Like, Loki also has, like, this is more kind of, the Norse mythology aspect of it. Like, one of his kids is the World Eater snake. It's the giant fucking snake. I forget the name because the name's confusing as shit to pronounce.
that's insane.
Loki
Loki be freaky as fuck.
He be freaky as fuck. He
weird shit.
And
But the thing is, I feel like he shapeshifts too into what they are.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you are. Loki just can shapeshift and
if he sees cheeks, he
If
wants
he
to clap.
see
He'll
cheeks,
make
he's
sure he
gonna
be
clap.
right cheeks.
Okay, while we're talking about shape-shifting, I thought this was something that was really cool, okay? Kevin Smith movie, Kevin Smith being one of the biggest comic book fans of all time, he made Dogma. He's the one who hired Matt Damon to be Loki. And then in the Thor movie, Matt Damon was playing Odin, but that was Loki playing Matt Damon playing Odin.
Oh shit, that's
And there's
right.
rumors saying that Matt Damon's gonna reprise Loki again in some form or shape in Thor Ragnarok or Thor Love and Thunder.
I actually was totally down for that.
That's so cool.
Well, because okay, there's one aspect where like Matt Damon has the Matt Damon effect, which for those of you who don't know, Malcolm hit if you know, if you know.
No.
All right, one thing I need to explain about my situation with Matt Damon,
Shit.
and there's certain actors that I have this way. It's Matt Damon. There's that one actor that we both fucking hate no matter what movie he's in. We just know we can't watch it.
Colin Farrell. Yeah, I can't stand that guy.
So we don't know why, but or I kind of know why, but anyways. So
and
Matt,
also Jennifer Gardner. Can't stand her either.
well, I mean, Matt Damon, I like his acting. He's dope and everything. But
I don't put Matt Damon on that list.
No,
but
but he has a Matt Damon effect where every single time I see Matt Damon in a movie, I cannot suspend my disbelief. I'm like, that's Matt Damon pretending to be an astronaut.
Yes,
That's Matt Damon
exactly.
pretending to be Loki. That is Matt Damon fighting for the universe and whatnot in a giant mech suit.
It's because there's no one else that can replicate his intensity. I think that's the thing. I think Matt Damon's a great actor, but no one could replicate his intensity. It's so unique to him that you don't see it as like an acting study. You see it as like, this is the only fool doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Someone gave Matt Damon a costume and he's just running with it.
Like, I love like Matt Damon in like the Entourage series is my favorite version of Matt Damon because he's like the biggest fucking dick in the entire show, but he's like also the biggest philanthropist, right? So he'll peer pressure the other celebrities in this show, like I want you to donate to Make a Wish, yada yada. You know, you're a big celebrity now. You just got #1, your first #1. I'm proud of you. You know, so now let's help like the lower people. And he's like, oh yeah, but like kind of busy figuring it out. Little does he know, like Vince is going through like money problems. And he's like finally like okay, like he finally convinced him. All right, donate, just fucking donate. Quit being a pussy, just fucking donate. You know, typical Matt Damon intensity. And he's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna donate 50,000. And then he was like, 50,000. Vince, what the fuck? And then he's like, hold on. And he goes on FaceTime while he's on the call with Vince. He pulls up LeBron James and Mark Cuban, and they're like, I don't know if you guys heard him, but he only wants to donate $50,000 to these sick kids, and he's shanghaied them with these big celebrities and peer pressure them to donate like $1 million or some shit like that.
Matt Damon is like one of those people. It's just fucking funny seeing just him in situations. And so honestly, if he shows up in the future as a version of Loki, I am totally down for it too. And I'm also really curious. You know, we're going the aspect of Loki having his female version and whatnot. I am curious. You know, it's called Thor: Love and Thunder, and if we're showing the female version of Loki, I wonder if we're gonna get the cross-dressing version of Thor, because there is a Norse myth, one of like the funniest ones, is where Loki transforms into a woman and then dresses up Thor as a woman to sneak into like a party, or like they have to sneak into like
that's straight up fucking Final
situation.
Fantasy VII, bro.
they have to sneak in, and like Thor, he's supposed to pretend to be a woman in order to like to infiltrate this area and then kill the person that they're going after.
It makes sense in Love and Thunder, you know, because I mean, it seems like we're gonna get Lady Thor, so if they play with it a little bit before Natalie Portman actually gets her powers, you know, like I think that's the best opportunity in time to actually do that.
It'd be fucking awesome to see that. And then again, you know, I'm loving the fact what's going on in Loki. I'm super excited what's going on. There's so many little like small details throughout the show too that I'm pretty sure you'll see like in a breakdown and everything that like there's so many hints that there's a grander scheme going on too, and how the end result we kind of already figured what's gonna happen anyways, just kind of like timeline wise, because we know the multiverse is gonna happen. But it's interesting to see, okay, like what is the cataclysmic event? Like how do we get to there and how do we get to that point? I'm loving the show 100%. And the cool thing is, kind of segueing away from Loki into something that we both were able to talk about, the Avengers Campus. Oh. And the reason why I want to bring this up, because the Avengers Campus, we'll go into that in a little bit of detail. But one specific thing I want to bring up about Avengers Campus is what I found out in the press release, where they were talking about it, is that as important events are happening in any Marvel show, in any Marvel movie, it will affect the Avengers Campus. You might see characters you will never see beforehand because they're now prevalent in this Marvel story.
That is
so you'll see them
really cool.
Might pop up, or maybe a shop will be altered because of an event that's going on in different... So we now have fucking world events. We have world events in real life.
Holy cow. I'm so glad we're like Angelinos, bro.
We don't get world events in the Avengers game, but god damn it, we get it in real life at California Adventure.
I didn't even play Red Room or The Takeover. Or the, like, literally I'm just like waiting for like,
for Wakanda to show up?
No, that for sure, but for the Technomancer, Miranda... she it looks like she's gonna have like
a really big
like you're gonna be fighting her. Like that's the first time I got excited because we haven't really fought like a main enemy since like launch, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like finally like cool.
MODOK is kind of cool, but he's also kind of.
But MODOK was single player, you know. The multiplayer game he doesn't exist in.
Yeah.
So it was like what the fuck. They have assets from the original game that they refuse to put in multiplayer. You know.
Weird.
But like I'm so excited for Avengers Campus. I'm the biggest Disney kid, obviously the biggest MCU fan. And, like, I've noticed, now that you said that, I was watching, like, a bunch of, like, Avengers Campus stuff on YouTube, and I noticed there's a lot of secret screens behind secret doors and shit like that. Like, I saw one where, like, these doors open, and then fucking, like, you see, like, the spinning light, and then out comes Doctor Strange, and he comes out of the door, and then he closes the door back up again, and he does the shit, and he, like, presents himself, like, oh my god, look, there's these screens all over the place, and you can't even tell. So, like, I could see how, like, these world events would be fucking crazy.
Heck yeah. And it'll be really cool, too, because, like, I feel like a lot of these movies coming out, you know, as the shows have progressed and everything, and as the movies come out and stuff like that, like, it gives me more of an incentive. You know, we love Disneyland. We love fucking going to the parks and everything. That's a really big thing for us, too.
Yeah, and at one point I was going 3 times a month for, like, ever.
Yeah, but we had a fucking season pass. So that was a good time. But hopefully, you know...
RIP season passes.
But, yeah, if there's a season pass again, if we get more... If we get actual money revenue for this, maybe, hey, you never know. Anyways.
We wouldn't mind.
It's going to be really cool, and it's exciting for me, too, because, you know, we're nearby. It's like, oh, this really dope event happened. I kind of want to see what happens at the Avenger Campus. And, you know, fucking Disney is securing their bag that way in that aspect. But it's also, like, me as a viewer and you, like, as well, like, as people who really love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's now that extra layer of you watch it, you see it through that, but now you can experience it in, like, small little details you may not get otherwise.
Yeah, like...
That's super fucking sick.
Honestly, the experience at Star Wars Land, like... seemed really cool, but I noticed like the people in costumes or walking around with lightsabers, they were getting a lot more attention than like pedestrians. So like honestly, I just want to dress the fuck up so I could be part of the act, you know? Like I want stormtroopers coming up and flexing on me and I could just talk shit right back to them. I mean, I won't. It's Disneyland. I'm gonna learn how to censor myself. The one and only time I decide to censor myself. But like, you know, like I love that experience that they made with Galaxy's Edge, and I feel like they've learned so much from that little bit alone. And what you tell me right now, like that's revolutionary in the theme park industry or in general.
Galaxy Edge was fucking amazing to see in person, and to now see like again Avengers Campus, just how many more moving parts, and literally every time you go, you're never gonna know.
Right.
Is this something that's standard, or is it gonna be a brand new fucking one time only kind of thing? It's on DCU. No, DCA. It's in DCA, Disney's California Adventures, which allows alcohol a lot more than Disneyland. I wonder if they will have like a little like Tony Stark bar. I don't know. I think they might be selling alcohol like in that area because I know California Adventure does have
Right.
one bar. I know that for sure they have like there was one bar there.
They have like one like full bars, but then they have like a lot of carts around, and then there's other bars like in restaurants or in like VIP areas.
Yeah, I know Galaxy Edge probably will have something.
Galaxy's Edge, they do have like the space milk, the blue milk.
Oh,
It is alcoholic as
that's
well.
right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So I'm interested again to see. Not only are we getting like featured events that are happening at Adventure Campus, we might get featured drinks too. To kind of coincide with that.
I miss the drinks from Alice in Wonderland and Tron. Those two were like my favorite ones. And when they got rid of those two for like, what did they replace it with? I don't even remember.
They didn't replace it with anything.
No, they did. They replaced it with like, they probably got rid of it, but they replaced it with something else, and it wasn't Tron and it wasn't Alice in Wonderland. I was like, what the fuck is this?
And I love the Tron area too because it felt so much like you're going to the Tron world. There's so many different stuff going on, and
There's
then
throwing frisbee blades. There's the Flynn Arcade.
and then if you go there on a weekend, it's a fucking club too.
It
'cause
is
they're
a
playing
club.
with DJs and something.
Full on dance floor.
And it's like, okay, the music is kind of
Everyone's
like
getting
iffy,
drunk.
but it's like, fucking dude, it's a club.
It's a
It's
Disneyland club for adults.
Yeah, the only time they ever experienced this is it was fucking grad night.
Right? But there's no drinks in grad
There's no
night.
drinks at grad night. Well, I mean, there is, but they don't know about it. A lot of people sneaking alcohol for grad
Oh,
night.
that's different
Yeah.
though. They're not like selling.
Yeah,
it,
they're not
so.
selling it legally. But anyways, it's super cool to see the Avengers Campus and all this stuff. And again,
I
Marvel is
definitely
just.
snuck in booze to the Universal backlots for my homecoming or my prom night, for sure.
I did not. I actually did not go to my grad night because I thought it was the next day. I got a call in the middle of the night. It was 2 a.m.
How do you fuck that up?
Because-
it's like one of the most important days for a
Well,
teenager.
it was like, okay. I was like, all right, it's Saturday at 2 a.m. So I'm like, okay. And it's like Friday. I thought it was like Saturday going into Sunday at 2 a.m. Because, that's just the way
Right.
my brain works.
Yeah, sometimes
And then-
I wake up at 6:30 and I'm like, dude, it's PM already? Like, I wasted the whole day, yeah.
And then my buddy calls me up. It's Friday night going to Saturday. He's like, hey, he called me at 2 a.m. He's like, hey, dude, the last fucking bus is showing up. Like, are you going to come to grad night? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, dude, grad night's tonight. I'm like, no, it's tomorrow. And it's like, no, dipshit. Today is Saturday. It
Damn.
makes sense. I'm like, fuck. And I was so groggy. He literally woke me up like in deep, deep sleep.
Did I take you out the night before? How do you not
No.
remember that?
I was like fucking knocked out. He called me
Yeah.
5 times before I woke up. And so I finally woke up and we were talking like, dude, I'm just not going to go. I'm like, fuck it. I'm so sleepy. I'm not going to be able to interact whatsoever. Turns out it was like a pretty shitty night anyways, but that's the story for another time.
I think that just determines on the person.
But in some other news that's going on, we actually got a shit ton of new game announcements because the Summer Game Fest is today.
Bless you.
Excuse me. But I know the game that you probably want to talk about the most, even though you probably don't know much about what's going on.
I wasn't able to watch it.
I know. But it is Evil Dead, the game.
Yeah, okay. Evil Dead is one of my favorite franchises. Like, literally of all fucking time. There's been many video games already, too. The video games have been subpar, but always fun. Never a disappointment. But not memorable. But, like, the movies are all memorable to me. I love all the movies. I love the fucking TV shows. And I love how in the series, like, they really get Hispanics, like, Latinos, like, some,
man.
like, good-ass roles for a big-ass
We
fucking...
were 50% of the cast.
Exactly.
On the show.
That was fucking dope, you know? So, I was really cool with that. But I love the fucking Evil Dead. Even for Halloween, I was the Evil Dead. And I am upset that, like, I had to hear it from, like, a third party audibly and not get to watch it myself. So I just want you to, like, I want to live through your eyes vicariously.
Okay.
Break it down for me.
So, the game actually looks super fucking dope. Okay, because, we're going through the whole idea of, like, procedurally generated fucking horror games where you kind of find the big beast.
Yeah.
This is more kind of going the Left 4 Dead aspect, where it's like,
Ooh.
it's you and your team, and you are fighting against all of the fucking things that go bump in the night from the Necronomicon. And it's really cool, because it was very action-packed from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of intensity into it. It's not... I don't know too much of the mechanics. I had to skim through it, unfortunately, because of timing. We want to make sure we were live on time. But it's very much, it seems very action-packed. It seems very, like, kind of horror elemented. But at the same time, like, you get to be this fucking team going against the Necronomicon, and I think
so
that's
if
super
this
cool.
is like Left 4 Dead, like does people have their own like skills? Like is
Yeah,
there
it
one
seems
guy
like-
who has a chainsaw, the other guy has a boomstick? you
It seems
know?
like everyone's kind of class based. That's kind of like where everyone's going and gravitating towards. And it was really cool to see just like how the different interactions and just like how they're approaching different stuff. Mind you, again, I'm skimming it, but the game looks fucking dope.
That's
the
awesome.
game does not look disappointing from watching the trailer. And you know, trailers can be deceiving, but this one looks like it's gonna fucking hit and it's gonna be a fun ride. And I'm really excited
I'm
for it.
so down. I'm gonna watch this as soon as we turn off the fucking camera. You have no idea how much I love the franchise, bro. Ash Williams is my fucking boy.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah, before fucking how am I forgetting his name?
Terry
I love this guy.
Crews.
Before Terry Crews, the OG fucking Old Spice man was fucking Bruce Campbell, Ash Williams of the Evil Dead. And if you don't know, Ash Williams was on all the Sam Raimi movies. And now that Sam Raimi's gonna like direct another MCU movie, now that we're still in the MCU kind of ish topic, like we might get Bruce Campbell in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I can't.
And in some very form or fashion, and if we're lucky, if we're real lucky, as Ash Williams.
As Ash Williams.
That'd
I
be
mean,
sick.
he's directing the multiverse movie, so it makes a lot of sense to bring Ash Williams.
There's a multiverse. There's a universe with zombies.
And there's also a universe in the MCU with Ash Williams. You know, there's
Mhm.
Deadpool versus the Evil Dead and all those. There's many books with Ash Williams in the MCU. So, I mean, it's very plausible, to be honest. Actually.
There's a lot of possibility for Ash Williams to be a very prevalent character. And it makes sense.
Oh, I
Evil
can't
Dead
wait.
game comes out. It generates more hype for Bruce Campbell to return and be a part of the Marvel Universe. We'll be okay with it, that type of stuff.
And the thing is, like, even though Evil Dead might not be in, like, the mainstream zeitgeist, it's never bombed, it's never failed. It's always brought up more money than it deserved to have brought, you know?
Very true. And every Evil Dead movie that's been made has been a
Timeless.
super low budget, has made it back over time, and it's been cult classics, all of them.
I don't know about the budget for the recent one. That one looked well made. Granted, it was filmed in one secluded cabin in the woods set, but like that was literally one of the greatest masterpieces. I think it topped the original Evil Dead movies entirely.
I would think so. Just
Yeah.
in terms of being a pure horror movie, like the Evil Dead, like the reboot of it, dude, that movie had me fucking freaked out. It had me like cringing in certain scenes from like
homie with the glasses, bro.
which
Like,
is
getting stabbed in the.
oh, that movie was fucking insane. I love that movie so much. It was a really dope horror movie. And
Yeah.
like to see the contrast from like the old school to new school is dope. It's really
Agreed.
dope. But some other different topics or another different games that got announced. There was a lot of stuff that got announced for the Summer Game Fest and
Okay, so you said Summer Game Fest and Warhammer 40K, right?
yeah.
So is this like because last year we couldn't have E3, right?
Yeah.
So instead, IGN had this big push for Summer of Gaming. It even got on TikTok. It was a huge hashtag that everyone was using for non-gaming shit to go viral. You know. So like, is this like that?
This is what's going on. We're having so many different type of events coming out. For me, like I've made this known, I am a big Warhammer fucking fan. I am a huge Warhammer fan.
He said on this podcast too.
Very many times. I love the lore. I love a lot of situations. Dude, Warhammer dropped like 15 fucking games.
For me, like all I knew was Warhammer was like going to like the 4-story Glendale Galleria and going to that really cool store where there was all these Warhammer boards that were humongous and people painting on these little decals and playing this epic tactical war game.
And okay, so even for those who are playing with the miniatures and playing Warhammer 40K, so 40K is like the Space Merchant miniatures.
Yeah.
I forgot what the exact name is for the high fantasy version, but there's separations. Everyone's getting something. From the digital players to the tabletop players to the fucking competitive players. So for the competitive players of like Warhammer 40K and stuff like that, the Sisters of Battles, which is like they're basically think of what if nuns were badass as fuck and like were able to fucking murk people. That's the Sisters of Battle. They're getting a new codex soon. That's gonna change a lot of the dynamic and the competitive scene on that side. But then a whole bunch of video games got released. Obviously, every game needs to have a fucking card game. So Warhammer now has a card game. Warhammer now has a mobile card
What
game.
made that famous? Because I feel like it wasn't Gwent. I feel like someone else did it before Gwent.
I mean, you could say Magic the Gathering. That's kind of the biggest
No, but
one.
like in an established video game universe.
I don't know, because Gwent is like the bigger one.
Right.
Probably Hearthstone, honestly. I think Hearthstone because it is using the World of Warcraft properties, StarCraft, and that type of stuff. I think in terms
Kingdom
of
Hearts did it too.
that is true, but it did it in a different fashion.
It did for but like I know I'm forgetting one that actually had a full on like card based game.
You
It's just
I
losing
know
it
you're
here.
right, but I can't think of it anyway. I can't
losing
think of
it.
it. But Warhammer, like I said, fucking dropped a whole bunch of different things. The biggest thing that I was excited for, from the Warhammer event, which is Darktide, which for those of you who played the game Warhammer Vermintide, it's their high fantasy version, which you're fighting against the Vermintide, which are like these like rat people kind of creatures that are endless swarms trying to kill you. You have
Takashi 69 is coming at you.
yeah,
like-
basically. You have the Agents of Chaos, so like fucking Beastmen. You have corrupted people chasing after you and whatnot, and these giant fucking creatures. So that's all like, medieval high fantasy shit. Now we have Darktide, which is like, fuck all that, fighting with swords and shit. Bitch, we're going to space. And so you're playing as this ragtag group of humans who...
I only know a Warhammer of what I've seen when I was a kid looking at the mall. So just for you to tell me now they're in space is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How has this evolved?
So now you're like you're part of either the Imperial Guard or different members of the human faction and stuff like that. You're not Space Marines, because fuck Space Marines.
Fuck you,
and
bitch.
your vanilla ass shit.
ODST's the fucking shit. Space Marines are
No,
awesome.
okay. Space Marines in Warhammer 40k are like they're like the vanilla character.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So fuck you, blue boys.
Yeah, I like being the Space Marines in StarCraft.
But again, different. But the cool thing is, like, yeah, you're these human characters who are not supposed to be like these like really prevalent characters, fighting against the orcs, fighting against the Tyranids, which are these like, think of like xenomorphs, but times a million, dude. There's so many of them. They fucking all they do is literally go across the universe and just eat planets.
That's crazy.
That's all they do. So it's super sick. You're going against the Eldari, which are space fucking elves. Then you're going against like other different type of Xenos, and then Chaos Space Marines, which are Space Marines who got corrupted by Chaos Gods and stuff like that. I will stop for time.
Did it go off?
I just wanted to get you sleeping.
What was it?
But it is
I couldn't find
super
it.
fucking sick. Darktide looks awesome, looks so amazing. And it's like, if you ever wanted a really dope alien property type game where you're fighting against a whole bunch of different space stuff and a very narrow corridors and things are super intense and super stressful, this is the fucking game. This is fucking a whole bunch. It just looks amazing. I'm so excited to play it. I'm so fucking excited to play it. So that's the Warhammer event.
I believe
A whole
you.
bunch of dope games that came out. And then Summer Game Fest, like I said, we had a whole bunch of different trailers dropped. We had a whole bunch of stuff for D&D. Hannibal Buress is in a D&D game as a voice actor. We
Hannibal Buress?
yeah, right now in a D&D game.
That is cool.
I really hope there's like a jab at Bill Cosby.
I
or
can't
something.
wait just to hear him in D&D, just to be like, you know what, like, you're an orc? No, I don't get this shit. No, like, why? You told me to fight this? Nah. This guy's like 40 feet taller. Like, I can just, like, I'm actually looking forward to this.
It sounds fucking awesome. Another game that also got announced too was Metal Slug Tactics, which, for those of you that do not know, our father owned an arcade vending business.
Still kind of does.
And
Our favorite game, one of our favorite games,
Mhm.
other than, like, MVC2, was Metal Slug.
heck yeah, we put in so many no quarters in there because we were able to just fucking hit the little thing and
Funny
get free
thing,
credits.
Malcolm, do you mind giving me the see-through art box behind you?
This one?
Okay.
No, the
Behind
see-through
you,
one behind you.
behind the chair. We'll show you the mechanism we're talking about.
Alright, so like I got this box like 2008 in high school, but like because our dad worked in like vending, like I have like the Punisher arcade glass and shit. I have a lot of cool shit, and I have the Neo Geo Metal Slug fucking instruction thing in Japanese, which is really cool. So if you don't know what Metal Slug is, or maybe you do, that's the reminders, these red stickers, those cool robots.
Yeah, and it's super cool. It's a Metal Slug Tactics game, which for those of you who played either Fire Emblem or way back when Advance Wars, that there's something happening behind the camera. Don't worry about it. Or Advance Wars, it's a turn-based strategy game. Tiles and everything.
Yeah,
and it's super cool.
The
because
more modern game people don't understand was Fire Emblem.
yeah, Fire
It's
Emblem
like
is
Fire
the more
Emblem.
Emblem. but in the Metal Slug universe, which is super dope because that's a property I would never expect it to have that type of variation of game.
And I think it makes sense because that game has been needing a resurgence, but no one is playing arcade style side scrollers
Exactly,
anymore, you
yeah.
know? But like the IP itself, it's like the art, everything, like it feels like it's its own universe
Heck
and
yeah.
nothing can replicate
And
it, you know?
even the thing is that a lot of people don't give Metal Slug credit for is that even way back then, even in the first Metal Slug game, the pixel art was so beautiful, was so
very few
fluid.
sprites were as like gorgeous as Metal Slug.
Yeah.
But the way the machines move, the way everyone moves, like even though they're sprites,
It was so well done. You really like.
there was a weight to
There was a
everything.
weight to it. Every movement felt fluid, and
Yeah.
you're able to like really like you would see this in most games. Like you would try and jump, and maybe like it won't hit right because the animations just like don't line up the way they should be. Never a problem, Metal Slug.
No, that game was literally like if your skill allowed you to do something, like
You
the
probably could
game
do it.
wasn't gonna lag out. You
Yeah.
know, like the game wasn't gonna fall off. Everything was like every shelf, every platform was perfectly built, and it was insane.
And there's some times where it's like a bullet hell too, and it was like totally fucking fine. So I'm super stoked about that because I
I'm really
love
stoked about that.
I love those type of games. Fucking Fire Emblem, XCOM.
And Advanced
Advanced
Wars
Wars.
is such a fucking classic. And I've been like, I regularly go on Google looking if there ever going to be another Advanced Wars games. Because it's from Intelligent Systems, the people who made Fire Emblem. Like, I love Fire Emblem. And I would not, like, be mad to see another, like, you know, like, edition to come every bi-yearly, you know? But, like, if Intelligent Systems, if you were to happen to surprise me with Advanced Wars, I think you'd be surprising a lot of other people.
Yeah, because again, it's one of those situations where you're so used to kind of like you used to like swords and everything, but sometimes you just want to be a fucking tank.
Yeah, sometimes I want to be a tank or a fucking
jet
B-52
fighter.
or some shit, you know, exactly. Or a submarine or an entire naval fleet, you know.
And the game was so much fun. So again, it's super cool to see these old fucking properties coming back, and especially talking about some older properties too. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I just gotta mention this very briefly. Comes out tomorrow. I am so excited. People are touting that it is.
Good luck finding a PS5.
I know. I haven't been able to find one, so it's gonna be a while before I play
I
it.
tried. I had the whole ping system set up for a couple days, and I just gave up.
But from what reviewers are saying, that it is, for graphics people, it is the prettiest game that is on the PlayStation 5.
The trailer looks amazing, and like the fact that you could warp into insanely different worlds in the matter of a fraction of a second is insane.
And everything about this game is being praised from reviewers and stuff like that. So I'm really excited from someone who's played Ratchet and Clank religiously since the game came out, from the original one. That is actually, fun little fact for myself, the first time I ever stayed up for longer than 24 hours.
This kid's literally, he used to love
was
Ratchet
because
and Clank,
of Ratchet and Clank.
He used to love Ratchet and Clank. He loved Jack and Daxter.
Heck
Those
yeah.
like big PlayStation like platformers were like
So
everything for him.
a lot of people are also saying too that with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart being such a
Ty the
phenomenal
Tasmanian
game.
Devil was another
Ty the
one.
Tasmanian Devil, that game was so fucking good. But it'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes into the modern era. But there's hope that maybe these old fucking properties are gonna come back and maybe have that final fucking chapter to close the books.
Which is cool, like, cause maybe not the final chapter, but like, and not necessarily a reboot, but like a refresher.
Yeah.
Cause like what they did with fucking God of War, they completely changed the format and
Heck yeah.
everything, and like it's still the same, like it's the God of War IP, but it's a completely different game now.
That's what I'm really excited about with these properties kind of coming. For example, Metal Slug changing the format. We're doing a whole
and I
different
think that's
setup.
the best way to go about it.
Ratchet and Clank, we're trying to change the formats. There's still a solid same beats and everything, but it's a whole different setup on how it's being presented.
I don't know if it's a different format. I think it's Naughty Dog, right? Like,
It's no, they're Insomnia.
That's Crash.
They're
yeah,
Insomnia that does it.
But like it's like the thing with like Ratchet and Clank, they always kind of like push the boundaries, bro.
Yeah.
Like they had guns turning fools into chickens and shit like that.
Way back in
so
the
I
early
think-
PlayStation 2.
Exactly. So like I don't think they're trying to like. I think they're doing shit they've always wanted to do, but now they have the abilities to do it.
Yeah, and then you're really seeing a lot of creativity exploding in there. And also some things that I did not expect to see whatsoever, kind of getting another individual storyline, let alone a whole new fucking game, is Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I know, again, you weren't able to see a lot of trailers.
I wasn't able. He broke it down a little bit though. I fucking wished I went further into Borderlands 2 just to unlock that Tiny Tina Dungeons and Dragons level, bro.
And okay, you didn't unlock the level. Now, what if I told you the entire game is that? The entire game is a Dungeons and Dragons setup.
So the whole new, it's also gonna be Dungeons and Dragons.
It's all gonna be fucking Dungeons and Dragons shit. The fucking opening was that there's a dragon showing up. A lot of the voice actors for the movie are gonna be voicing characters in the game too.
I'm all in.
We have the return of Butt Stallion, the diamond horse owned by fucking Handsome Jack.
That name alone, Butt Stallion.
This is actually, I think, the first time we've seen Butt Stallion. And he is majestic as shit.
Yeah.
Wait, I think we have seen Butt Stallion.
I don't remember if we have.
And a DLC for Borderlands 2, I believe. It's a Handsome Jack DLC though. But at the end, like, you do see Butt Stallion.
So then we see him again then. So
yeah.
I that's my mistake then. I've never got to the DLC of Borderlands 2. There's some of them that I didn't get to because the first couple of DLCs were they're very grind heavy and I kind of distasted myself with the other ones.
What's the deal with like the Borderlands 3 DLCs? Like, cause Borderlands 2 had like the most famous DLC fucking.
Borderlands 3, like, there's like for some reason, like I was doing the same thing. Like, there hasn't been any announcement for like new DLC or shit like that. Like, dude, people who bought Season Pass got fucking shafted. Which I may be thinking that they might do something to tie in with the movies, but even then, it's like
so far out already.
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on. Like,
and 2 famously had like more DLC than any other game in the world, and they're full DLCs.
Fuck yeah.
They're not like regular cosmetics and weapons. They're actual full-on fucking stories.
Ones.
Yeah.
And then like the only thing that Borderlands 3 was really famous for is being a glitchy fucking mess.
Yeah, it was so hard to play. Did you ever like pick it up and finish it?
No, couldn't.
Yeah.
I
love the gameplay, but like the second one of us paused, the whole game blew up.
Fucking started to shatter. So that was a big thing. So again, but to see Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and that's really the character a lot of people love. So to see that her getting another dedicated game, and to kind of see where that goes, I don't know how it's being conveyed. I don't know if it's gonna be kind of like a Telltale kind of situation where it's like a story that you're kind of watching along and making some decisions, or if it's gonna be, an actual gameplay
Doesn't Tiny
type
Tina
game.
grow up too?
She's still Tiny Tina. Like, she's still like the same kind of character.
But she's like older now, right?
I really couldn't tell. She
looked
different.
I thought she was gonna be older in part 3, but I never really had the opportunity to fuck with her.
Yeah, again,
the game was just so hard to play.
The game was so hard to play, so we didn't get a lot of it. But again, it's super cool to see that all these different games have released. But it also kind of raises the question that I did want to bring up, kind of rounding off the end of the episode before the end of the hour. We're seeing the Warhammer event, we're seeing the Summer Game Fest. PlayStation has their own events, Nintendo Directs, Xbox has their own stuff. Like, everyone's kind of doing this.
Like, Nintendo really started that push. Square Enix followed really closely afterwards, and I feel like everyone's starting to do it now.
And that's the thing, we're in June, which is supposed to be E3 season.
Right.
And E3 is supposed to happen to some extent this year.
Yeah, but like, we're at the tail end of COVID, so I understand why it's not going on this year. But yeah.
But it's like, for me, kind of seeing like all these different events that are happening from like the people themselves, dedicated from them, I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, is E3 even going to exist, or like, do we even need it anymore?
E3's been dying for a long time already.
Because it was in general before COVID, and before
it was already
Nintendo.
died before COVID too. Once Nintendo made their Playhouse, that killed so much of E3, and so many people started to follow suit. Like I said, Square Enix and PlayStation started doing it. Like, the only ones that are really doing E3 are just like Microsoft and Bethesda nowadays.
Yeah, which Bethesda is not owned by Microsoft.
It's just Microsoft.
Hey, you want to see me jerk off twice?
Yeah, like, the thing is, like, I don't want E3 to disappear. Like, I've never been given like a press pass to go, and now they're starting to be open to the public, so I feel like that's gonna ruin the E3 experience. Yeah. But like, I love the idea where I have the opportunity to go and play a game and see technology for video game, or just the electronic industry, it's not only video games for E3, of shit that won't come out for a long time, shit that, people are still experimenting with, the possibilities of the future. I don't want E3 to go, and I don't want it to be E3 on YouTube,
Yeah.
Granted, I know E3 has to be smaller, there's no way around it, but at the very least, like, these companies, sure, like, if Square Enix is gonna have their Square Enix Presents, maybe they don't have to fucking have a stadium in E3, they don't have to rent out Hall H or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, at the very least, like, give us the demos on the floor, like, I still want that E3, like, play that shit long before it comes out. That experience is, like, it sounds so cool and awesome, and just to be like, just to be that asshole. It's like, oh, like, and the cool thing about Kingdom Hearts 3, you know? Oh, wait, it still doesn't come out for another 2 months, so I'm sorry.
So, like, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about, too, where, like, E3 in terms of it being, you know, the announcement event.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's very clear that it's no longer going to be that.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to shift more kind of like a Comic-Con kind of situation where you go there for the experience of this is, you know,
more for like the press conference.
Yeah, for the press conference, for the interviews, and like, you know, being able to do hands-on stuff, getting exclusive fucking collectibles and everything there. I feel like E3 needs to shift in that way because as I see it now, there is no reason to have an E3. There really
feel like
isn't.
it has to be. It's the same thing like Comic-Con. We need these events.
Yeah.
We need these expos.
But
expositions are like a really big part of fueling the culture of whatever minor culture or subculture in. An exposition is where everyone gets to see everything because your general gaming fan, they're only going to know Call of Duty. They're only going to know FIFA. They're only going to know Madden. And the only reasons why they know about other shit is because of E3. These people aren't watching Nintendo Direct. These people aren't watching Square Enix Presents. These people aren't watching the PlayStation Play or whatever. Like, they're not watching these. They're watching E3 and probably that's it because it's the big event, you know? But they're not going to sit down and watch these other ones unless they're brand exclusive to these people.
Very
you know?
true, very true.
So that's why like, I really don't want things like E3 and Comic-Con to disappear.
Which makes a lot of sense. That E3 is the easiest access from like a casual perspective. It really is because, you know, that really was our introduction to that type of stuff, and then we branched off and got more in depth and more.
Yeah, like me and
hardcore.
you, we do our research. We know like the zeitgeist of the video game industry, but like I would have never been there if it wasn't for E3.
That's true. So
if
yeah,
it wasn't for like G4 or streaming E3, the first channel or anything to ever stream E3.
That's true.
Right? If it wasn't for IGN starting to pick it up, and now like you know, like if I'm working, I could watch from my computer and not have to be on cable. Like those were big to me, and there were day-long, multi-week-long or week-long events. You know, like the sure E3 was like 3 days or so, but then you had all the post and pre-shit coming in. You know.
So yeah, you know, when you phrase it in that way, that it kind of needs to happen, just for the sake of like informing the less hardcore fans. I think that's an important factor because it also generates, you know, pre-orders. It generates hype. To then, you know, fuel the financial system of the games industry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
See,
and
that
it's
makes
like
a lot of sense.
the cool thing is like it's like Coachella. It's like, you know, this month is coming and you're just like eager and excited, you know, like with all these other directs, like you don't know when it's gonna happen. They just throw it to you randomly, and then when you see it, it's like, oh, like when you get thrown it at you so randomly so often, and then it gets to the point where it's like I'm not eager to see it immediately anymore, and then sometimes you forget to watch it.
So yeah, you know, that's kind of the thing. Seeing what E3 is going to be this year and seeing just kind of how dynamic it's going to be, we kind of wait to see. But what the result is, you know, for sure we're going to talk about it because it's within our wheelhouse. So we got to talk about it.
It is. Yeah, and I hope we get a good mix of what we got going now and what we had.
Okay, so very quick before we sign off, what would be something you would love to see at E3 being announced?
What I really want to see at E3 announced.
Mine's is super easy. It's always my answer to anything video game related. I want to see some footage for Ragnarok. I know it is going to happen, but I would love to see something besides just the fucking title for Ragnarok.
I would love another sprite-based Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what I really want.
That would be super sick. That would be really fucking sick.
Honestly.
Maybe we'll have it. Malcolm, is there anything that you would like to see for E3? I know you're not the biggest gamer, but...
I am. Game. A lot. But if there was ever anything I would like to see at E3... Half-Life 3, please make it.
Oh yeah, that ain't one we ever gonna see.
I think they greenlit it.
I know they had Alexis for the VR, but from an official 3, I'm not sure.
They never had a Half-Life.
I thought they actually greenlit 3.
Nope.
Huh.
We would have to do our research on that one, but I think this is a pretty good place then.
Yeah, for sure.
And
But before we end it, I really want to get like this Steam VR to play Half-Life VR.
Yes.
But at the same time, if I were to get a VR, it's either going to be Oculus or PlayStation. So like, just seeing brand exclusivity now going into VR is a bit of a pain in the ass.
It is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Especially how like early in its life VR is. It should not be separated yet. Maybe in the future, sure, but
And
it's
I feel
too
like,
early to separate.
and
so
I also
much.
kind of feel like that's why the VR craze like really hit a dead stop.
Yeah,
Just
hell
because
yeah.
things are exclusive and people are like, fuck this, I'm not gonna buy 3 different headsets,
Exactly.
which are like a grand a fucking piece. So fuck that shit. But we'll see what happens. E3, there's a lot of exciting things, a lot of exciting games that already been announced today, and we can't wait to see what else was gonna happen. Thank
Thanks
you
for watching.
joining us. Hope
We
you
love
enjoy
you.
the buzz.